Hello, English learners. Welcome back to English Pod. My name is Marco.
And I'm Erica.
And today we're swimming.
That's right. A nice summertime lesson for everyone.
Summertime lesson. So we're going to be talking about swimming and, well, it's a very popular sport, right?
Yeah, so this is another lesson in our sports series.
In our sports series. Okay. So why don't we preview some of the language we'll find in the dialogue?
Vocabulary preview.
All right, we have two words to look at here. The first word is sailing.
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 Well, this is the verb to sail, right?
Mm-hmm.
So sailing is traveling in a boat.
In a boat with no engine.
Right, so you must use the wind to push you forward.
Exactly. That's a sailboat.
Yes.
Okay, so sailing. Mm-hmm. Now let's take a look at our other word. Anchor.
Another boat word here.
Yeah.
Anchor.
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 Now, it's spelled Anchor.
Right.
But you don't pronounce the CH as you normally would, right?
Another one of these really difficult to spell English words.
Right. So you don't say anchor, you would say anchor.
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 So the anchor is a verb and a noun.
That's right. Well, when anchor is used as a noun, it means the hook that you throw over the boat into the water, and it keeps you staying in the same place.
Okay. But the verb to anchor,
Yes.
what does it mean?
To do that.
To do that, right? So to throw the anchor into the water, you would just say to anchor the boat.
Exactly. To keep it in the same place.
Okay. Great words related to sailing. But now let's listen to our dialogue for the first time. What's happening here, Erica?
Well, we've got two friends here who are sailing in their boat, and they decide to take a swim.
Let's see what happens.
This is such a beautiful day. Great day for sailing.
It sure is. The water looks so nice. Anchor the boat for a little while. I'm going to take a dip.
Why are you doggy paddling? I taught you how to swim. Do your breaststroke.
I get too tired. I'll just backstroke. It's easier.
Try kicking your legs more. That's good. Don't go out too far.
It's fine. Jump in.
Kathy, get back here. I see a shark.
Ah! Help me! Help! Bring the boat closer. The shark is coming straight towards me.
It's right under you. Kathy!
All right, so a shark attack.
I know. This is my worst fear when swimming.
Really? In the ocean, right?
Yeah. Well, also in the lake, but
No sharks in lakes.
I know, but I'm still afraid of them.
All right, so don't worry about it. I'm sure the girl is okay. It's probably not a shark. Maybe it was a dolphin.
Yeah, or maybe she's going to punch the shark in the face and she'll escape.
Okay, let's take a look at some of the words that we saw in Language Takeaway.
Language takeaway.
We have three excellent swimming words for you. The first one is doggy paddling.
Doggy paddling.
Doggy paddling.
So, doggy paddling. It's not really a proper way of swimming, right?
No, you don't see this in the Olympics.
So if you've ever seen a dog swim, that's why they call it doggy paddling.
Right, you're sort of moving your hands quickly in front of you.
And your legs are all over the place.
Yeah.
And you're basically not really swimming, you're just trying to stay afloat. You're
Yes.
trying not to drown.
Trying not to sink.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so doggy paddling.
Again, this can be a noun or a verb. The doggy paddle, this swimming style, or doggy paddling, the verb.
Okay, interesting. All right, let's take a look at our second swimming style.
Breaststroke.
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 The breaststroke. How
like-
is this one?
Well, it's sort of like swimming like a frog.
So you have your legs that are similar to like a frog, right?
Yeah.
And what are your hands doing?
Your hands are moving in front of you together, then out towards the side.
Okay, so
So-
you're kind of doing like circles,
Yeah, half circles.
half circles. Okay, breaststroke.
Yeah.
But you get kind of tired when you swim like this, right?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, yeah.
Now, let's take a look at our third word. Backstroke.
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 So this one's pretty easy. Backstroke, you are
lying on your back
You're lying on your back.
in the water.
And you're kicking your feet as well.
Yep.
But what are your hands doing?
They're going back behind you. See, I'm doing it now. Can you see?
All right. If you guys could be here in the studio, you would see Erica doing her backstroke.
Yeah, I'm pretty good at it.
Yeah. Okay, so let's listen to this dialogue again, and then we'll come back and look at some great phrases.
This is such a beautiful day. Great day for sailing.
It sure is. The water looks so nice. Anchor the boat for a little while. I'm going to take a dip.
Why are you doggy paddling? I taught you how to swim. Do your breaststroke.
I get too tired. I'll just backstroke. It's easier.
Try kicking your legs more. That's good. Don't go out too far.
It's fine. Jump in.
Kathy, get back here. I see a shark.
Ah! Help me! Help! Bring the boat closer! The shark is coming straight towards me!
It's right under you. Kathy!
Okay, so we have some really good phrases related to swimming and water.
Yep.
Okay, let's take a look at these in Fluency Builder.
Fluency builder.
All right, the first one. I love this phrase. Take a dip.
Take a dip.
Take a dip.
So if I say I'm going to take a dip,
You're going to have a quick swim.
a quick swim.
Yep.
So you can take a dip in the pool,
Yep.
in the lake,
In the ocean.
in the ocean, even in your bathtub, right?
No.
No?
No, it's just for swimming. Unless your bathtub is really, really, really big.
All right, so not for the bathtub, but for swimming.
Yep.
Okay. Now let's take a look at our second phrase. For a little while.
For a little while.
For a little while.
For a little while.
This is really common. I use this a lot.
Yeah, me too. I probably use it 500 times a day.
Okay, so let's listen to some examples with for a little while, and then we'll come back and explain it.
Example 1.
I'm tired. I'm just going to sit down for a little while.
Example 2.
It will only hurt for a little while.
Example 3.
Do you want to play tennis for a little while?
So it means for a short time.
For a short time. And you can change it, right? You can say, oh, I'm going to play for a little while.
Yeah. Or I'm going to sleep for a little while.
For a short time.
Yep. All right. So if learners use this phrase, I find it sounds really, really great because it's not something that students normally use.
Yeah, I guess a student wouldn't really use this phrase normally.
Yeah. So guys, use it because you'll sound awesome.
Yeah, you'll sound really, really fluent. Okay, and let's take a look at our last phrase. Straight towards.
Straight towards.
Straight towards me.
Straight towards.
Okay, so straight means directly.
Right. In a line.
In a line, not going anywhere else, but directly.
Yeah, not moving side to side.
And towards is in that direction. So the shark was coming straight towards me. It's coming directly at me.
Moving in a line and not moving side to side.
Okay. So can you give me another example of how you would use straight towards?
Watch out! There's a car coming straight towards you.
Okay. Directly towards you.
Yeah. Or maybe when I get home from work, I go straight towards the fridge.
Really?
Yes.
I believe this. All right. So straight towards, directly. Okay, so we've looked at a lot of great words, really good phrases. Let's listen to this dialogue one last time, and then we'll come back. And Eric is going to tell us a really great story about boats.
This is such a beautiful day. Great day for sailing.
It sure is. The water looks so nice. Anchor the boat for a little while. I'm going to take a dip.
Why are you doggy paddling? I taught you how to swim. Do your breaststroke.
I get too tired. I'll just backstroke. It's easier.
Try kicking your legs more. That's good. Don't go out too far.
It's fine. Jump in.
Kathy, get back here. I see a shark.
Ah! Help me! Help! Bring the boat closer! The shark is coming straight towards me!
It's right under you! Kathy!
All right, well, Marco, I was telling you that I used to spend every summer on the lake. And my family had a really small house on a small island. And my cousins had another small house on another small island.
Okay.
So our families are really close, and we used to go to one house for dinner one night and the other house to dinner the next night. So everyone was over at my cousin's house, except for my grandfather. And so he was thinking, okay, it's late. Maybe I better go pick up my wife and see what's going on. So he goes into the boat. It's dark.
Okay.
There's no light on the boat. He's driving straight towards the island when suddenly my cousin in his boat drives directly into my grandfather.
So they crashed.
They crashed.
Two boats crashed in the lake.
Yeah, and then my grandfather's boat flipped over. It turned upside down.
Wow.
And he fell in the water.
But he was okay, right?
Yeah, he was okay, but you know what? He was really angry about this.
And the boat?
The boat stayed in the water, and you know the engine fell down to the bottom. So we had to go the next morning to get the boat, and we actually had to hire some scuba divers to go to the bottom of the lake to get the engine.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I imagine your grandpa was pretty angry.
Yeah, he tells the story
Every year.
Yeah, exactly. But you know what? I've got a million of these crazy lake stories because my family.
It always happens.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, do you have any crazy stories or any stories related to boats or to swimming
Or to shark attacks.
or shark attacks?
Yeah.
Leave your story, share with us. And also, if you have any doubts or questions, Erica and I are always there to answer.
Swimming is more than just a fun way to cool off in summer. It's an activity that can keep you healthy, help you relax, and even improve your English. In this series, we'll dive into the world of swimming and explore useful words, expressions, and tips that connect real-life experiences with real English learning. Whether you're in a pool, a lake, or the ocean, swimming is full of everyday language that you can use in all kinds of conversations. Imagine you're on a boat with a friend, and the sun is shining. The water looks calm and inviting. Your friend says, "Let's anchor the boat and take a dip." Right there, you hear two great expressions, anchor the boat and take a dip. To anchor the boat means to stop it in place by dropping a heavy object, called an anchor, into the water. It keeps the boat from moving. You might hear someone say, "We anchored the boat near the beach." And what does take a dip mean? It's a casual way to say go for a quick swim. People often say things like, "It was hot today, so I took a dip in the lake." It's short, friendly, and sounds very natural in everyday English. Once you're in the water, there are many ways to swim. If you're not very confident, you might doggy paddle. This swimming style looks just like how a dog swims, kicking with your legs and paddling with your arms, not going very fast, just trying to stay afloat. Someone might say, "I'm not a good swimmer, so I just doggy paddle near the edge." If you know more about swimming, you might try the breaststroke. In this style, you move your arms in front of you in a half circle and kick your legs like a frog. It's a smooth and classic way to swim. A person might say, "I learned the breaststroke in swim class." Another common stroke is the backstroke. With this one, you lie on your back and move your arms in big circles behind you while kicking your legs. It's relaxing and gives you a good view of the sky. You could say, "I like the backstroke because I don't have to put my face in the water." While you're swimming, your friend might call out, "Try kicking your legs more." This is a helpful tip. In swimming, how you move your legs matters. Good kicking helps you go faster and stay balanced in the water. Coaches and friends often say this to encourage new swimmers. Of course, when you're in the open water, like in the ocean or a lake, it's important to stay safe. You might hear someone shout, "Don't go out too far." This is a warning to stay close to the boat or shore. Even strong swimmers need to be careful of currents, waves, or other surprises. One of the most exciting and scary things in the water is the idea of a shark. If someone suddenly yells, "There's a shark. It's coming straight towards me," it creates panic. The phrase straight towards means directly in your direction, without turning. You might also hear, the boat is coming straight towards the dock. All of these phrases, anchor the boat, take a dip, doggy paddle, breaststroke, backstroke, kicking your legs, don't go out too far, straight towards, come from real-life situations but are also common in spoken English. Learning them helps you understand conversations and sound more fluent. Swimming is not only good for your body, but also a great way to discover natural and useful English in action. Swimming is one of those activities that feels different depending on where you do it. Some people prefer swimming in a quiet pool. Others love the excitement of the open sea. And each setting brings different experiences and new vocabulary to learn. Imagine standing at the edge of a calm lake early in the morning. The surface of the water is still, and you take a deep breath before diving in. That peaceful moment is what people mean when they say something is serene. You might hear, "The lake was so serene, I felt completely at peace." It's a great word to describe a place that's calm and quiet. But not all swimming is calm. Sometimes you're swimming in a group, and someone shouts, "Race you to the buoy." A buoy is a floating object in the water, often used to mark a safe area or show where boats shouldn't go past. People sometimes use buoys as fun swimming goals. You might hear, "Let's swim to the buoy and back." Swimming in the sea is more challenging than in a pool. You need to watch for waves, wind, and even jellyfish. If a jellyfish touches you, it might sting. A sting is a sharp, painful feeling, like when an insect bites you. You could say, "I got stung by a jellyfish," and it hurt for hours. It's useful to know words like sting when talking about animals or accidents. If something unexpected happens in the water, a person might yell, "Swim to shore." The shore is the land next to a lake, river, or sea. It's where you're safe and can rest. You might say, "After a long swim, we rested on the shore." This word is often used in stories, news, and even songs. Sometimes you're not swimming for fun, you're swimming to survive. If your boat tips over or you fall into the water, you may have to tread water. That means staying upright and keeping your head above the surface without moving forward. It's a skill every swimmer should know. You might hear, "He had to tread water for 10 minutes before help arrived." And what happens when someone suddenly can't breathe or moves strangely in the water? That could mean they're in trouble. They might be choking, panicking, or drowning. In this case, someone might yell, "Pull him out." That's a direct and urgent command. Pull out means to remove someone or something from a place or situation quickly. You could also say, "We had to pull her out of the water when she got too tired." After a big swim, especially in the sun, people often feel tired. You might hear someone say, "I'm wiped out." This is a casual way to say, "I'm extremely tired." It can be used in many situations, not just swimming. For example, after the long hike, I was completely wiped out. Swimming brings energy, challenge, danger, and joy. And each of these feelings has words and phrases to describe it. Serene, buoy, sting, shore, tread water, pull out, wiped out. These are the kinds of expressions that bring your English to life. When you learn words connected to action and emotion, you become more confident in real conversations. Whether you're talking about a peaceful morning swim or a sudden surprise in the sea, you'll have the language to explain it all. There's something magical about learning to swim. For many people, the first time they enter the water feels both exciting and scary. It's a new world, one where your body feels lighter, your movements change, and your usual way of walking or running no longer works. In this new world, every lesson you learn brings a new word or phrase with it. One of the most important lessons in swimming is how to stay afloat. This means to keep your body on the surface of the water without sinking. It's the basic skill that gives you confidence. You might hear, she's just learning to stay afloat, or if you panic, it's harder to stay afloat. It's also a good expression for everyday situations. If someone says, I'm trying to stay afloat at work, it means they're trying to manage and not fall behind. Another thing beginners learn is how to float on their back. People often say, just relax and lie back. Your body will float. The word float means to rest on the surface of water or air without sinking. A leaf floats on water. A balloon floats in the sky. In swimming, floating helps you rest and breathe more easily. As you practice more, you might hear instructors say, you need to build your stamina. Stamina means the strength to keep going for a long time without getting tired. Swimming takes energy, and if you swim many laps, you need stamina. You could also say, I don't have the stamina to run 5 kilometers, or she's working on building her stamina. Sometimes you swim in a group and need to keep the same pace as others. Someone might say, don't fall behind. That means don't let the others get too far ahead of you. You can also use this phrase in life. For example, I fell behind in my studies, or try not to fall behind in class. In swimming lessons, you also learn how to breathe properly. If someone turns their head too late, they might swallow water. Then they come up coughing. A friend might laugh and say, you just drank half the pool. This is a funny exaggeration. It means you accidentally swallowed a lot of water. These kinds of jokes are common in casual speech. Another funny phrase is belly flop. That's when someone jumps into the water and lands flat on their stomach. It hurts and makes a big splash. People might laugh and say, that was a huge belly flop. You can also use flop in other ways, like saying a movie was a flop, meaning it failed or didn't do well. And then there are those moments when you feel proud, when you swim across the pool for the first time or float without help. Someone might say, you nailed it. That's an informal way to say, you did it perfectly. You can use it for many things. You nailed the test, or she nailed her presentation. All these words, stay afloat, float, stamina, fall behind, drank half the pool, belly flop, nailed it, come from real experiences. They make your English sound natural, friendly, and fun. Learning English isn't just about grammar and tests. It's about seeing the language in action, hearing how people use it, and trying it out yourself. Swimming is full of movement, practice, and progress, and learning English can be the same. With every new phrase you learn, you're swimming stronger in a new language. Swimming isn't just about moving your arms and legs. It's about rhythm, timing, and learning how your body moves through water. As you practice more, you begin to notice how each small change makes a big difference. And with each new skill, you gain new vocabulary to help describe your experience. One common swimming term is stroke. A stroke is the way you move your arms and legs to push yourself through the water. There are different kinds of strokes: freestyle, backstroke, breaststroke, and butterfly. Each one has its own technique and rhythm. You might hear he has a strong stroke, or her freestyle stroke is very smooth. You can also use stroke to talk about effort and action in general, like he won by a stroke of luck, meaning he succeeded because of a lucky moment. As swimmers improve, they try to become more efficient. That means using less energy to swim faster or longer. In everyday life, being efficient means getting more done with less effort. For example, he's very efficient at work, or this new washing machine is more efficient than the old one. In the pool, an efficient swimmer glides through the water instead of wasting energy with wild movements. Another helpful word is streamline. In swimming, to streamline your body means to make it straight and narrow to reduce resistance. When you push off the wall or dive into the water, you keep your arms and legs straight, making your body like a rocket. This helps you go faster. The word streamline is also used in business or design. For example, the company streamlined its process, meaning it made things simpler and faster. Sometimes when people try too hard to swim fast, they use too much energy and get worn out. This phrase means very tired or exhausted. You could say, I was completely worn out after swimming 10 laps. This phrase is useful in daily life too. After work, I'm usually worn out. When learning to swim better, coaches often tell swimmers to pace themselves. This means not using all your energy at once. You save energy so you can finish strong. For example, in a race, if you swim too fast at the beginning, you may slow down later. In everyday language, pacing yourself is a smart way to work or study. You might say, I'm trying to pace myself so I don't get too tired during exams. Some people like swimming long distances. This is called endurance swimming. Endurance is your body's ability to keep going for a long time without stopping. It's like stamina, but it often refers to long-term activity. You might say, running a marathon takes a lot of endurance, or he's building endurance in the pool. You'll also hear the word lap a lot. One lap means swimming from one end of the pool to the other. If someone says, I swam 10 laps today, they mean they went back and forth 10 times. You can use lap in other ways too, like she's ahead by 2 laps, meaning she's winning in a race. Stroke, efficient, streamline, worn out, pace yourself, endurance lap. These words and phrases make swimming easier to talk about and help you sound more natural in English. As you learn more, you'll be able to describe actions clearly, share your experiences, and even give advice. Swimming teaches you how to move through water, but it also gives you the tools to move forward in language, one stroke at a time. Swimming often takes place in different settings, and each environment adds its own challenges and vocabulary. Whether you're in a quiet indoor pool, a busy public beach, or a wide open lake, the words people use to talk about swimming change with the place and the people around them. Knowing how to describe what's happening in these places can help you speak more confidently and naturally in English. Let's start with lifeguard. This is the person who watches swimmers and keeps them safe. A lifeguard usually sits in a tall chair near the water, looking out for people who might be in danger. You might hear, the lifeguard blew the whistle, or there's always a lifeguard on duty at this beach. The phrase on duty means someone is working at that time. You can use it in other jobs too, like the nurse is on duty until midnight. At public swimming pools, there are often lanes. These are the long, narrow sections of the pool marked with ropes or lines. Lanes help swimmers stay in their own space when doing laps. A swimmer might say, let's swim in separate lanes, or stay in your lane. The phrase stay in your lane is also used outside of swimming. It can mean to focus on your own work or not interfere with others. For example, he needs to stay in his lane and stop giving me orders. In open water, like oceans or lakes, you often hear people talking about currents. A current is the natural movement of water in one direction. It can be strong or gentle. Swimmers might say, the current is pulling me to the left, or be careful, the current is strong today. Knowing this word is important for safety and also useful in everyday talk, like the current of public opinion is changing, meaning how people think is starting to move in a new direction. Another important word is goggles. These are the special glasses swimmers wear to protect their eyes from water. You might say, don't forget your goggles, or my goggles keep fogging up. To fog up means the lenses become cloudy and hard to see through. This can happen when the air inside is warmer than the water. Then there's the word kickboard. This is a flat, floatable board swimmers use to practice kicking. A coach might say, grab a kickboard and practice your flutter kick. A flutter kick is a small, fast movement of the legs used in freestyle swimming. These tools are great for learning and improving technique. At the beach, people often use the phrase catch a wave. This means to wait for a wave and ride it, either by surfing or bodyboarding. Even if you're not surfing, this phrase is fun to use. In casual speech, people might say, he's trying to catch the next wave of technology, meaning he's trying to join the latest trend. You might also hear wade into the water. To wade means to walk slowly through water that's not too deep. You could say, we waded into the lake, or the kids are wading near the shore. It's a calm, slow action, not swimming but moving through water. And sometimes, when swimming becomes really exciting or even risky, someone might say, we're in deep water now. Literally, it means you're far from the shallow part of the pool or ocean. But it's also an idiom that means you're in a difficult or serious situation. For example, after losing all his money, he's in deep water. These expressions, lifeguard, on duty, lane, stay in your lane, current, goggles, fog up, kickboard, catch a wave, wade, and in deep water, are more than just swimming terms. They are part of real English, used in everyday conversations, business talks, and stories. When you learn them through swimming, you understand how they work in action, which makes them easier to remember and more natural to use. Language, like water, flows best when you move with it. Swimming teaches more than physical movement. It teaches rhythm, control, confidence, and awareness. And all of those things connect beautifully with learning English. When you're in the water, every small motion matters. When you speak English, every word shapes your message. Just like swimming, language becomes easier when you practice regularly, build good habits, and learn from each moment. One word that comes up often in both swimming and life is confidence. At first, many swimmers feel unsure, nervous, or afraid of the water. But with time and practice, they build trust in their ability. You might hear someone say, she gained confidence in the pool after a few lessons. You can also say, I'm slowly building confidence in my speaking skills. Confidence doesn't come all at once. It grows. Another important phrase is step out of your comfort zone. Swimming for the first time, diving into the deep end, or trying a new stroke can feel uncomfortable at first. But that's how progress begins. The same is true with language. If you never try to speak or write, you stay stuck. But if you step out of your comfort zone, you improve. You could say, joining an English club helped me step out of my comfort zone. Swimming also reminds us of the phrase, go with the flow. In the water, fighting against the current wastes energy. But when you learn to work with the water, you move more smoothly. The same applies in learning. Sometimes things don't go perfectly. You forget a word, make a mistake, or get confused. But if you go with the flow, stay relaxed, and keep trying, learning becomes easier. This phrase is also used when talking about life. I didn't plan everything. I just went with the flow. Then there's make a splash. In swimming, it means creating a big splash in the water when you jump in. But in everyday English, it means to get noticed or make a strong impression. You might hear, her presentation really made a splash, or they made a splash in the fashion world with their new designs. Another good phrase is sink or swim. This means you either succeed by trying or you fail by giving up. It's used when someone is in a situation where they must learn quickly. For example, I started a new job and had no training. It was sink or swim. It sounds a little scary, but often leads to growth and confidence. Sometimes people say just keep swimming. This simple phrase became popular from a movie, but it means don't stop, keep going, even when it's hard. When learning English feels slow or life feels difficult, this phrase is a kind and powerful reminder. Just keep swimming means every small effort counts. You might also hear someone talk about making waves. It means causing change or attracting attention. This can be positive or negative, depending on the situation. She's making waves in the business world usually means she's doing something impressive. Or someone might say, let's not make waves today, meaning they want to avoid trouble or conflict. And finally, the word flow itself is special. When you swim well, you feel like you're gliding through water easily. When you speak English smoothly, people say your words flow. You could say his speech had a nice flow, or once I relaxed, my ideas began to flow. Swimming gives you strength, peace, and freedom. Learning English can give you the same. With words like confidence, go with the flow, sink or swim, make a splash, and just keep swimming. You not only improve your vocabulary, you build a mindset that helps you keep going no matter where you are in your journey. Keep learning, stay curious, and remember, you're making progress with every step or stroke you take.
The English Pod Audio Review. Listen to the meaning, then say the vocabulary word. Travel in a boat that is powered by wind.
Sail.
For a short amount of time.
For a little while.
A swim.
A dip.
Swim like a dog.
Doggy paddle.
Way of swimming where the person moves the arms and legs in a half circle in front of them, like a frog.
Breaststroke.
To swim on your back with arms moving up and down in a circle.
Backstroke.
Directly in the direction of something.
Straight towards.
Clothes you wear when you go swimming. American English.
Swimsuit.
Clothes you wear when you go swimming. British English.
Swimming costume.
Piece of soft cloth you use to dry yourself after swimming or bathing.
Towel.
Lie in the sun and try to make your skin more brown.
Tan.
Jump into the water with your head first.
Dive.
Let's try that faster. Directly in the direction of something.
Straight towards.
Travel in a boat that is powered by wind.
Sail.
Piece of soft cloth you use to dry yourself after swimming or bathing.
Towel.
Clothes you wear when you go swimming. British English.
Swimming costume.
Swim like a dog.
Doggy paddle.
A swim.
A dip.
Lie in the sun and try to make your skin more brown.
Tan.
To swim on your back with arms moving up and down in a circle.
Backstroke.
For a short amount of time.
For a little while.
Jump into the water with your head first.
Dive.
Clothes you wear when you go swimming. American English.
Swimsuit.
Way of swimming where the person moves the arms and legs in a half circle in front of them, like a frog.
Breaststroke.
Now say the word and hear it in a sentence.
Sail. I've never been sailing before. Sail. I always get sick when I go sailing. Sail. Did you watch the sailing race? Let's anchor the boat. I dropped the anchor over the side of the boat so we won't float away. We can't anchor here because there are power lines under the water. I'm tired. I'm just going to sit down for a while. It will only hurt for a little while. Do you want to play tennis for a little while? It was so hot that we took a dip before lunch. Stephen and Nellie are taking a dip in the lake. Do you want to take a dip in the pool? Straight towards. Swim straight towards the shore. Straight towards. The boat is coming straight towards us. Straight towards. We're driving straight towards the cliff.
Last summer, something happened to me that I still think about almost every day. It all started with a simple plan, just a relaxing weekend by the lake. I had been working long hours and needed a break. So I packed a small bag, grabbed my swimsuit, a towel, some snacks, and drove out to the cottage my friend Dan had invited me to. The cottage was beautiful, right next to the lake, with tall trees all around and the calm sound of water hitting the shore. I arrived late in the afternoon, and Dan was already out by the dock, tying up the small sailboat we were going to use the next morning. I had never been sailing before, but I was excited. The idea of being on the water, with no engine noise, just the wind pushing the sail, that sounded like the perfect kind of peaceful. That night, we sat around the fire, talking about old times. Dan had grown up by the lake. He told me he learned how to swim before he could even ride a bike. Swimming is like breathing for me, he said. I laughed, but deep down, I was a little embarrassed. I could swim, but not very well. I had always felt uncomfortable in deep water. I was okay in a pool, but lakes made me nervous. You never know what's under the surface. The next morning, we got up early. The sun was out, and the sky was completely clear. Dan prepared the sailboat while I brought the cooler and towels. Before we set off, he showed me how to anchor the boat. Just in case we stop somewhere and want to take a dip, he said. That phrase, take a dip, sounded so casual. Just a quick swim, nothing serious. But I was already starting to feel nervous. I tried to hide it. After all, how bad could it be? We sailed for a while. It was easier than I thought. Dan handled most of the work, and I sat back, feeling the breeze on my face. The lake was wide and quiet. After about an hour, we reached a small empty bay with calm, clear water. Dan dropped the anchor, stood up, and said, "Let's take a dip." He jumped right in, splashing and laughing. I stood at the edge of the boat, unsure. Then I slowly slid into the water. It was colder than I expected, but refreshing. I started doggy paddling, just to stay afloat. Dan looked over and said, "Come on, don't doggy paddle. Use the breaststroke. You know how to do that." I tried, but I got tired quickly. So I flipped over and started backstroking. That was easier. I could float and rest a little. Everything seemed perfect. The sun, the water, the quiet. But something strange happened next, something I didn't expect at all. While I was floating on my back, looking up at the sky, I suddenly heard Dan's voice from across the water. At first, I couldn't understand what he was saying. Then I heard it clearly. "Don't go out too far." I turned around to look. I hadn't realized how far I had drifted from the boat. The wind must have been slowly pushing me without me noticing. I started swimming back toward the boat, but I was already feeling tired. My legs were heavy and my arms were moving slower. Dan started moving closer, calling out, "Kick your legs more. That's good, just keep going." I tried to stay calm, but I could feel my heart beating faster. The water suddenly didn't feel so friendly anymore. I focused on my breathing and kept kicking, one stroke at a time. It was harder than I expected, but I made it closer. Then Dan pointed behind me. His voice sounded different now. "Swim straight towards the boat. Hurry." His face was serious. That's when I saw it. A dark shape in the water, about 5 or 6 meters behind me, moving fast. At first, my brain didn't want to believe it.
But then I realized it was a fin.
It was coming straight towards me. My body froze. I couldn't think. I couldn't move. Dan shouted again, louder this time. Move.
Now.
It's coming. I panicked. I started swimming as fast as I could, using every bit of energy left in me. I didn't care how tired I was. I was splashing, kicking, anything to get closer to the boat. Dan reached his hand out, grabbed my arm, and pulled me up. I fell into the boat, breathing heavily, shaking all over. My heart was racing. We looked into the water. The shape came closer. Then it slowly turned. It wasn't a shark. It was a log. A long piece of wood, floating just below the surface, pushed by the same wind that had carried me away. Dan stared at it, then looked at me. We both started laughing. Nervous, relieved, tired laughter. I sat on the floor of the boat, soaking wet, heart still pounding. I really thought that was it, I said. Dan nodded. Me too. That was terrifying. It took me a few minutes to calm down. The fear had been real. My muscles were still shaking. But as I dried myself off with the towel, I realized something important. This experience had taught me a lot, not just about water or swimming, but about how fear can grow quickly when you lose control, and how staying calm, even when you're scared, can save you. Later that day, as we sailed back toward the cottage, I watched the water with a different kind of respect. It was beautiful, but it was also powerful. And now I understood that better than ever before. That evening, after we got back to the cottage, everything felt calm again. The sun was starting to go down, painting the sky orange and pink. Dan made some hot tea while I sat on the deck, wrapped in a blanket, still drying off from the afternoon. My legs were sore, and I could still feel the tightness in my shoulders from the panic swim. But inside, I felt something else, something new. It was like I had just crossed an invisible line between fear and confidence. Dan came out with 2 mugs and sat beside me. You handled that pretty well, he said. I laughed. I thought I was going to drown. He shook his head. You didn't panic the way most people do. You kept moving. That's the most important thing in the water. Don't freeze up. That advice stuck with me. I started thinking about how many people avoid swimming just because they're scared. But fear only grows if you don't face it. And the only way to become comfortable in the water is to spend time in it. The next morning, I decided to go back in the lake. Dan looked surprised. Already? Yeah, I said. I want to practice. Just for a little while. We took the boat out again. Not too far this time. We anchored near the shore where the water was shallow and clear. I put on my goggles and jumped in. This time, I started with the breaststroke, slow, controlled movements. Then I floated on my back and practiced the backstroke, keeping my breathing steady. After that, I even tried to stop doggy paddling and use more proper techniques. It wasn't perfect, but it felt better. Dan watched and gave me tips. Keep your hands together more. Kick from your hips, not your knees. That's better. We swam together for over an hour. I was surprised how quickly I got tired, but I didn't stop. Every movement was helping me build confidence. I wasn't trying to win a race. I just wanted to feel strong and safe in the water. When we got back in the boat, I noticed something I hadn't before. I was smiling. Not because I had become a great swimmer, but because I had finally let go of the fear. Later that afternoon, I lay on the dock with a towel under me, letting the sun warm my skin. The sound of the water, the gentle movement of the boat, and the memory of swimming without panic filled me with peace. That's when I realized swimming isn't just a sport. It's a skill that connects you to nature, to your body, and even to your mind. It teaches patience, control, and trust. And sometimes, It teaches you those things in the most unexpected ways, like when you mistake a floating log for a shark and still manage to find the courage to get back in the water the next day. The next day started quiet. The lake was still, and the sky was a soft gray. Dan had gone into town to get supplies, so I had the morning to myself. I sat on the porch with a book, but I couldn't concentrate. My mind kept going back to the water. I stood up, looked out at the lake, and said to myself, why not? I grabbed a towel, my swimsuit, and walked down to the edge of the dock. There was no one around. No boat engines, no people talking, just the sounds of nature. I sat for a moment, dipped my toes into the cool water, and then slid in. This time, I wasn't nervous. I felt calm, confident. I floated for a bit, then started swimming slowly across the small bay. I practiced everything Dan had taught me: smooth arm movements, steady kicks, easy breathing. I even timed myself a little just for fun. As I reached the other side, I saw something in the water. It wasn't dangerous. It was a group of ducks. They were just gliding across the surface, so relaxed. I stayed still and watched them, floating quietly. It felt like I was part of the lake, not just visiting. On the way back to the dock, something funny happened. I slipped while trying to climb up and fell back in. Water splashed everywhere. I came up laughing, even though I was coughing a little. A few weeks ago, that would have scared me. But now I knew I could handle it. I could fall in, I could swim, I could get out. That's when I really understood something important. Confidence doesn't mean being perfect. It means knowing that if things go wrong, you'll still be okay. You'll figure it out. You'll keep going. After drying off, I made lunch and waited for Dan to return. When he arrived, I told him everything. You went swimming alone? He asked, raising his eyebrows. Yeah, I said. And I didn't doggy paddle once. He laughed and said, now that's progress. That afternoon, we decided to sail again. The wind had picked up and the lake was a little rougher. At first, I hesitated, but then I remembered how far I'd come in just a few days. I wasn't the same person who had feared deep water and panicked at the sight of a shadow. Out on the lake, the boat moved faster and the waves splashed against the sides. But I didn't feel scared. I felt alive. And when Dan said, let's take a dip, I didn't even hesitate. I jumped in head first. A real dive. And as I came up, I thought, this is what it means to grow, not to avoid fear, but to swim straight through it. That final evening by the lake felt different from the rest. The sun was setting behind the trees, and everything around us was quiet, almost like the world was holding its breath. Dan and I sat on the dock with our feet in the water, watching the last light reflect off the surface. It had only been a few days, but it felt like I had lived an entire story. I looked at the water and thought about how it used to make me feel nervous, unsure, even a little embarrassed. I had always avoided deep lakes or open water, pretending I was fine with it, when really I wasn't. But something had changed. It wasn't just that I had practiced swimming. It was more than that. I had faced fear, pushed through it, and come out stronger. I had learned to move with the water, not against it. I had learned to breathe, to float, to trust myself. Dan handed me a mug of tea and said, next summer, you might be the one teaching someone else how to swim. I smiled. Maybe, but I won't let them doggy paddle. He laughed. Good. That's rule number 1. We sat there for a while, sipping our tea, enjoying the silence. I thought about all the new phrases I had picked up this week. Anchor the boat, take a dip, swim straight towards something, do the breaststroke, backstroke, and even the idea of not going out too far. These weren't just vocabulary words anymore. They were part of my experience. They had real meaning now. Before going inside, I stood up, looked out over the lake one more time, and whispered to myself, I can do this. I'm not afraid anymore. And that simple sentence, spoken quietly in the evening light, was the final proof that I had changed. Sometimes, real learning doesn't happen in a classroom. It happens in a lake, on a summer day, when you decide to stop being afraid and start swimming forward.
The English Pod Audio Review. Listen to the meaning, then say the vocabulary word. Travel in a boat that is powered by wind.
Sail.
For a short amount of time.
For a little while.
A swim.
A dip.
Swim like a dog.
Doggy paddle.
Way of swimming where the person moves the arms and legs in a half circle in front of them, like a frog.
Breaststroke.
To swim on your back with arms moving up and down in a circle.
Backstroke.
Directly in the direction of something.
Straight towards.
Clothes you wear when you go swimming. American English.
Swimsuit.
Clothes you wear when you go swimming. British English.
Swimming costume.
Piece of soft cloth you use to dry yourself after swimming or bathing.
Towel.
Lie in the sun and try to make your skin more brown.
Tan.
Jump into the water with your head first.
Dive.
Let's try that faster. Directly in the direction of something.
Straight towards.
Travel in a boat that is powered by wind.
Sail.
Piece of soft cloth you use to dry yourself after swimming or bathing.
Towel.
Clothes you wear when you go swimming. British English.
Swimming costume.
Swim like a dog.
Doggy paddle.
A swim.
A dip.
Lie in the sun and try to make your skin more brown.
Tan.
To swim on your back with arms moving up and down in a circle.
Backstroke.
For a short amount of time.
For a little while.
Jump into the water with your head first.
Dive.
Clothes you wear when you go swimming. American English.
Swimsuit.
Way of swimming where the person moves the arms and legs in a half circle in front of them, like a frog.
Breaststroke.
Now say the word and hear it in a sentence.
Sail. I've never been sailing before. Sail. I always get sick when I go sailing. Sail. Did you watch the sailing race? Let's anchor the boat. I dropped the anchor over the side of the boat so we won't float away. We can't anchor here because there are power lines under the water. I'm tired. I'm just going to sit down for a while. It will only hurt for a little while. Do you want to play tennis for a little while? It was so hot that we took a dip before lunch. Stephen and Nellie are taking a dip in the lake. Do you want to take a dip in the pool? Straight towards. Swim straight towards the shore. Straight towards. The boat is coming straight towards us. Straight towards. We're driving straight towards the cliff.